Hi guys, it's Carol. This is Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. I watched this woman, her name is Rachel Daly Hug, and she does the cutest thing, I think. When she opens her video, she says, "This is Wednesday, March 18th, 2020, and these are your morning announcements." I just love that. It makes me laugh when I open up her videos. But anyway, this is Wednesday, and the craziness in the world is going on. Our schools are not going back after spring break. This week is spring break, indefinitely. So I'll have my grandkids, and we are gonna have school at grandma's. What else? Where my sister lives, hair salons are closed, so she can't go get a haircut. We have our first case of somebody with that virus here in our town. Grocery stores are still empty. Same old, just like where you live. I know all of you know Phyllis Stokes. She was a very famous YouTube creator, a lovely lady, and she passed away. Her son, his name is Stephen Ritter, has continued making videos on her channel. If you don't watch them, go watch Stephen. Because before she died, his mother asked him to please do that because the money she made off of YouTube supported a Christian school in this state where she lived, North Carolina or South Carolina, I can't remember, I think North Carolina. But anyway, so she asked him to please keep making videos so the school would have that money. And I love to watch his videos. He's a retired Air Force colonel, I believe, but he has a very calm way about him to have been a pilot. He seems very laid back and calm, and his voice is soothing to me, and he just tells stories about growing up and Phyllis being his mom. Anyway, today he said, it's never as bad as you were told, and it's never as good as you're told. He said if you just wash your hands, it will be fine. So that, I think that's a good way to think. It's never as good as you have been told. It's never as bad as you've been told. Let's see, what else? I guess we'll just jump right on into the rest of my vacation. Right. If you are a new sub, this will be part 3 of the first time I took my kids on a vacation. It was just, I was a single mom with 4 kids. And on our first vacation, we went to St. Louis from Missouri from Texas. And I don't even know how I did it because I don't like to drive in traffic. This was like the Beverly Hillbillies go to New York City is what it was like. But anyway, so we're in St. Louis, and we've seen the fireworks shot off a barge over the Mississippi, and we spent 4th of July up in Hannibal, Missouri, and we went to historic Nauvoo and toured all the old businesses where people are dressed up in period costumes. And now we decided that we should do the Gateway Arch. St. Louis has this huge arch, 630 feet tall. It's called the Gateway to the West, and it's I think it's a state park. Anyway, you can go up inside that arch. So, of course, we decided to do that, which is amazing because of the 5 of us. Some of us are afraid of heights, and some are claustrophobic. We didn't know what we were doing is why we did this. We didn't know. But you pay your money, and you get into this car that, as best I remember, this has been, a long time ago. It was oval shaped like an egg, very cramped. You had to bend over to get in this little cramped egg-shaped vehicle, and it held 6 people. Well, there was me and my 4 kids, and then they put a strange man in with us. which made us uncomfortable. He was perfectly nice, I am sure, but, of course I thought, oh, they've locked me in here with a mass murderer. Because they shut the door, and then very slowly the egg car kind of creeps up, 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 up. At least I remember it being the slowest thing on earth. I mean, and we're all crunched down, with like our elbows touching our thighs, all bent over and crammed in here, and I'm claustrophobic. Anyway, it finally makes its way to the top. Oh, before then, there was a window in that door that they shut and seal you in. And one of my kids, and when we first started moving up, the kid said, why do they have a staircase in here? You could see this staircase out that window. And I said, I guess so in case if this car breaks down, you can get out and you can climb down the stairs. Wrong thing to say to somebody who is afraid of heights. Oh my gosh, we finally get to the very top where they have an observation deck. 630 feet up in the air. And we get out of the car to go look up through the windows. That arch sways. The wind makes it sway. Oh, we freaked out. We're 630 feet in the air, and that thing is not drastically, but enough that it's moving. And the windows, the way I remember them, here was this long section of window, and I remember you had to look down, you had to lean forward like this to look out the window. Scared me to death. But you could see forever. You could see all of St. Louis. There's a great big football stadium. I'm not a sports person, so I don't even know who plays in St. Louis, but they have a huge stadium, and you could see the Mississippi, and you could just see forever. And then we got back in that little crowded car to go on the slow trip down. If I ever go to St. Louis again, that is one place I'm going to say, no, been there, done that, don't need to do it again. But it was okay. It was fun. But I couldn't believe that thing swayed. Oh my gosh, 630 feet in the air. And the only way to get down is get back in that cramped, claustrophobic car. Oh, it was something else. And then my daughter was in high school. I think she was 16. Or about to turn 16, and for some reason in the mail she was forever getting information from Washington University in St. Louis, and so she wanted to go see that campus. So we, again, no cell phone, no GPS, nothing like that. We had addresses and a paper map. So we find Washington University, and best I remember it's downtown or in a big medical district or business district. I don't know. It's in a busy area anyway. So we go and we drive around that campus a little bit, and then I'm ready to leave and go do whatever else we were going to do. Every time I tried to leave, I would get on this one-way street going east, and after you turned on the one-way street, you couldn't get off. It went over the Mississippi into East St. Louis, Illinois. And where it dumped you out, evidently was the roughest part of East St. Louis, because it was a pretty rough area. We were scared to death. There was a group of guys standing on a street corner when we get off of there, and we are obviously lost, and we try to turn around and go back on the one way going the other way. There was this group of guys standing there, looking at us like, they're saying, that woman's lost. Anyway, we would get on the one-way going back, go across the Mississippi. Those of us that were scared of water do not like going on this bridge. And I couldn't get off of those two one-way streets. I couldn't get away from them. I couldn't get off. We honestly went over the Mississippi into East St. Louis, saw the same guy standing on the corner. I don't know how many times, 4, 5, maybe 6 times, honestly, because I couldn't get off of that. I couldn't figure out how to get off of those two one-way streets. It was hilarious. At the time, it was terrifying. Finally, somehow, I got off of that loop. But crossing the Mississippi, driving across the Mississippi, no. I don't like water. I'm terrified of water. I don't like bridges. I've always been terrified of bridges. That was quite an experience. But anyway, then we were going to go somewhere else. I forgot where we were going. Maybe the zoo or something. Anyway, we had the information for Grant